Tonight, a local MP calls for the Yorke Peninsula to get its own rat distribution point. And Port Germein residents call for government support to help protect the historic local jetty.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Member for Narunga Fraser Ellis is calling on the state government to set up a rapid antigen test collection site on the Copper Coast. Residents in the region currently have to drive to either Port Augusta or Adelaide to get one.
It's the hot item that everyone is trying to get their hands on. Residents on the Copper Coast are struggling to find rapid antigen tests in shops and pharmacies. Those in need have to drive to collection sites in Port Augusta or Adelaide, around 2 hours away. Member for Narunga Fraser Ellis is demanding a collection point to be set up on the Yorke Peninsula so residents can have greater access to the kits.
I think there are arguments for both Maitland and the Copper Coast, but I think the main point is that we can't be expected to drive to Port Augusta or Adelaide to collect if we're designated a close contact by SA Health.
SA Health is yet to confirm if they plan to set up a rat collection site in the area. Mr. Ellis hoping for a quick decision.
Well, I hope to get a response soon, and I'll make sure I keep the community updated, and hopefully it's a positive response and we have a collection site open here sooner rather than later.
The local mayor is backing the move. She says a collection site in the Copper Coast would also benefit surrounding communities across the mid-north.
I believe Copper Coast is really quite central, and if you put a 100-mile radius or an hour drive around the Copper Coast, it covers, all of the leg, and it goes, to Clare, Perry.
People with symptoms can still go to the Wallaroo Hospital for a PCR test if unable to purchase a rat kit. Christian Komenos, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, Port Lincoln is feeling the strain, with the city recording the highest amount of COVID-19 cases within the region. Currently, there are 233 confirmed cases in the city, as local council introduces new rules to help stem the flow.
The Omicron strain of COVID-19 continues to infiltrate Port Lincoln, impacting the community's way of life. Port Lincoln Mayor saying council has introduced increased restrictions.
What we have done is restricted any public events where there's going to be more than 150 people, so we've deferred permits for a couple of functions.
A new complex has also been introduced to ease pressure on the local hospital.
We've got a new testing facility out at Ravendale Oval, which means that hopefully that should give quicker access to testing processes.
The Port Lincoln Medical Centre also feeling the pinch. One GP warning that if people haven't booked in to receive the jab, they may be waiting until the middle of February to get in. In more positive news, testing for children is now available.
We're now doing clinics for children, 5 years to 11, and that's becoming more available for the kids under 12, which is important as well.
With the community anticipating more COVID cases, experts say practicing social distancing is more vital than ever before.
Well, it's important to keep on checking in. It's important to keep the masks on, and it's important to keep the social distancing. So, if you're going to meet with people, it's best to do it outside if you can.
The Port Lincoln testing site will be available on weekdays from 8:30am to 4:30pm and 9am to 1pm on weekends. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Wireless City Council's Australia Day events have been significantly scaled down in response to the current pandemic situation. Only the Citizen of the Year awards and new citizenship ceremonies will be held this year. A system will be in place to help maintain social distancing protocols during the event.
What we'll do is we'll do those in stages, progressively across the morning and early afternoon of Australia Day.
Relatives and friends will be able to watch the citizenship ceremonies online on the council's website. The South Australian Liberal Party will run a candidate against Narunga MP Fraser Ellis, opening pre-selection in the seat ahead of March's state election. Mr Ellis moved from the party to the crossbench last year as he fights a number of deception charges in court. Despite his former party's move, he is confident the community will re-elect him.
I've had tremendous support from across the community over the past 4 years, and I'm hopeful that will translate into a good result on election day. I'm looking forward to putting forward my track record and continuing to advocate for the things that we deserve on the YP.
The Liberals are yet to decide on a candidate. Residents of Port Germein are calling on the state government to commit more funding to repair the iconic jetty. The end of the jetty has been closed for more than 6 months, and locals are worried it will lose its record-breaking status.
It's known as the longest wooden jetty in the Southern Hemisphere. The world record status attracts tourists from all over the country. However, residents are worried visitor numbers will dry up. The state government has pledged $20,000 towards the repairs, but the Port Germein Progress Association says that's just a drop in the ocean.
We would like in the meantime for some things, smaller things to be fixed up, some like bolts set back in, some steps being made safe, to be able to have the end accessible.
The group estimating the final cost will be $2.5 million, with the association asking the government to up their contribution.
What I'm looking for is to have that jetty committed, money committed for that jetty to be repaired back into its best original condition they can, so the people of Port Germein and the region here can have that as the longest wooden jetty in the Southern Hemisphere.
Despite the setback, members are still hopeful visitors will continue to come.
The opportunity to go up there with the kids and families, you know, to fish off the jetty, to crab off the jetty, it's a long-standing tradition.
Infrastructure Minister Corey Wingard did not respond to our request for comment. Christian Komenos, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, a region preparing for a tropical downpour this weekend. And the RSPCA pleads with pet owners to look after their animals this summer. Welcome back. A burst of tropical weather will hit the lower air peninsula over the next few days, with the Bureau of Meteorology issuing a number of warnings. People across the region can expect heavy rainfall and thunderstorms, with the SES also on full alert.
After a reasonable dry spell, wet weather is making its way to the air peninsula. The remnants of a tropical cyclone are on a crash course with southern parts of the region.
We also still have some tropical moisture hanging around the north of the state from ex-tropical cyclone Tiffany. So this system's going to interact with some of that moisture and bring that further south.
With the tropical system starting to intensify, the harsh weather is set to be in full force by the weekend.
Lower air peninsula, we will start to see some of that rainfall coming through on the Friday. It's pretty unstable, so we could see some thunderstorm activity also developing with this system.
Rain is expected to fall until midnight on Sunday. The Bureau of Meteorology saying the region can expect between 15 to 50 millimetres. The SES are also preparing to go on standby.
Yeah, so our units have been, and our volunteers have been out undertaking preparation work for some of those areas where we know we tend to have issues in the past.
Residents urged to take care when out in the elements.
The simplest thing people can do is make sure that their gutters are clear of any debris that's accumulated over the last couple of months. You know, it has been a while since some of these areas has seen a decent rainfall.
We'll have full details later in the bulletin. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
And in the wake of last week's warm weather, the RSPCA is again reminding people of the dangers of leaving pets in hot cars. The group are dealing with an increased amount of call-outs this year, warning owners about how quick heat stroke can set in.
Sick and tired of pets dying in hot cars. The RSPCA say it is currently inundated with calls about animals locked in vehicles. The concern coming as studies show it takes just 6 minutes for an animal to suffer severe heat exhaustion in enclosed environments, even if the car is parked in a shaded area.
The public is very alert to this issue, but unfortunately the message doesn't seem to be getting through to some people about just how quickly a car will heat up.
With hot weather conditions expected to continue throughout the next few months, the welfare group says police are ready to be dispatched if needed. Officers have the right to smash the window of a car if they see pets in distress.
Owners have popped into the shops, they've gone to the gym, they've gone to the pub. We've even had people who have just popped in to go and see a movie.
If members of the public notice an animal being left unattended, they're being urged to call their local police station and report it. But the main advice from the RSPCA is for owners to evaluate their actions and keep their dogs out of the car if they plan on leaving the vehicle for a period of time.
You wouldn't leave your child in the car, so don't leave a dog in the car. A dog is just as likely to suffer and die as a child is.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
6 airports and aerodromes across the Spencer Gulf are about to receive improvements, thanks to a state government grant. The latest round of the Support Regional Aviation Fund, handing out more than $800,000 for a variety of works.
It's a time for takeoff for some of the Spencer Gulf's airports and aerodromes. More than $800,000 has been distributed as part of the latest round of the Support Regional Aviation Fund.
We know how important the airports are and aerodromes are to the regions, and of course the regions are a big part of our state's economy.
6 of the 10 successful applicants are located in our region. In Kimber, the local aerodrome will be getting lighting upgrades with funds from the scheme. While in Port Augusta, the Laurie Wallace Airport received funds to support critical infrastructure for the Royal Flying Doctors Service.
The Royal Flying Doctors, we know, do an outstanding job, and in Port Augusta, that's where this money will go towards helping support the work that they do at the airport.
Hydraulics and a new fire hydrant system will be the focus at Whyala's airport. The latest batch of works follows the site's major relaunch last year, which saw a brand new terminal and upgraded security procedures put in place.
We had to do additional work to address some of the ageing infrastructure that was there, so that included installing booster pumps and automation.
Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. Broken Hill Skate Park undergoes a much needed clean-up. An ageing Whyala playground equipment set for a second life overseas. Port Perry's Basketball Association is one of a number of groups in our region to receive support from the RAA. The organisation awarded $4,450 to help them develop a first aid room. The money coming from the insurer's regional safety grants aimed at improving the well-being of local communities. 3 other projects in the region also secured funding, which totaled $70,000 this year. The skate park in Broken Hill is getting some much-needed upgrades, with work having already started to remove the old ramps. The city's mayor is expecting the construction to be finished in 8 weeks.
The future of extreme sports has arrived in Broken Hill. Construction at the Broken Hill skate park has started, machinery moving in this week to remove old equipment. The revamp of the area, a major priority for the council in 2022.
So the skate park renovation was one that the community put high on the list. We received about $500,000 in project funding to complete that.
As well as upgrading ramps, improved landscaping will also be put in place. The mayor says the changes will make the area a much better and safer place to skate.
The previous skate park was used a lot, and this one should be better than the one we had.
The final design reflecting the wishes of those that use it. The council consulting local YMCA young leaders, as well as major stakeholders about what should be included in the new design.
Young people were involved where they surveyed different people, but ultimately it was a fully community input, and mainly the stakeholders that were asked about it.
The mayor says the park is more than just a place to skate, hoping projects like this will encourage younger people to stay in the city.
What it does, it gives at least the perception that we're moving forward, the city looks better, young people feel more involved.
Edwin McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Much-loved playground equipment in Whyala will be donated to other countries as council replaces facilities progressively across the city. The the local Rotary Club has volunteered to dismantle playgrounds to ensure a new generation of children can enjoy them.
Giving other children a chance to enjoy time at a playground. The Whyalla City Council teaming up with the local Rotary Club to donate the old equipment overseas to those in need.
We got onto the council. They were very, very happy to go along with the programme because it saved things from landfill.
Earlier this month, volunteers disassembled and individually coded each piece of equipment at Taylor Street Reserve. It'll then be cleaned and repaired before being shipped to another country yet to be selected. The program ensures equipment doesn't go to waste.
So the whole playground, as it's lifted from Whyalla, is put down in wherever the selected final destination is.
Meanwhile, the council is undertaking progressive works to replace the now removed equipment with brand new items. At Loring Street Reserve, children and adults are encouraged to try the new aeroskate.
We've got 2 new up-to-date playgrounds, one in Trevan Street and one in Loring Street. So it's going to be a great opportunity for kids to access some new exciting equipment to play on.
New equipment will be installed at the Taylor Street Reserve these school holidays. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We take a look at the region's fuel prices for the first time this year. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. Time now for our weekly look at what price you can expect to pay at the Bowser. And the news isn't good, with prices expected to increase in most major centres. Here's Mark Zita with this year's first fuel watch.
While most people have welcomed the new year with optimism, the same can't be said about the region's fuel prices, which are continuing to rise even further. Starting as always with unleaded, and apart from Broken Hill, Port Lincoln and Port Augusta, all other prices have seen a steady increase since our last fuel watch on December 8. Port Pirie has seen a significant increase from $1.59 in December to close to $1.63 this week. Whyalla saw the smallest increase from last month to this week. Prices in Port Augusta remain steady at $1.63.7, while prices are down by close to 2 cents a litre in Broken Hill. If you're heading to Adelaide, make sure you shop around for the best price, with some retailers selling unleaded as high as $1.77 per litre. Increases can also be seen with diesel, with only Broken Hill again seeing a sizable decrease from last month to this week. Diesel there selling on average at around $1.66 per litre. Much like the unleaded situation, Port Pirie has seen a large increase in the price of diesel, soaring by almost 5 cents a litre. Better news for Port Lincoln motorists, with diesel remaining steady from last month. Drivers in Port Augusta only saw a very minimal increase at the Bowser. Finally, to Autogas, where there is some good news. Many areas have seen decreases from the lead up to the Christmas holidays. Kadina recording the biggest slump in our region, down 4 cents a litre. Whyalla and Broken Hill drivers both saw a 1 cent a litre increase. Prices remain steady in Port Augusta at $1.22, while in Adelaide, prices have gone down by close to 7 cents a litre. Remember, these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do spot unleaded, diesel or autogas for cheaper, let us know through our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather as we move closer to the weekend. With all the latest details, it's good evening to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. It was a mainly fine day across the region today. I'll have more on that wet weather that is coming for the Eyre Peninsula, as mentioned by Henry earlier tonight. But first, at 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta was sunny and 32, Port Lincoln was partly cloudy and 23, and Woodnum was sunny and 29 degrees. Looking further out now, Whyalla was sunny and 27, Broken Hill 22, Port Pirie was sunny and 33, Kadina was 23, Clare and Cooper Pedy were both both 26 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud is covering the northern region. A broad trough is also causing widespread rainfall about the central and eastern parts of the state. No rain in the south. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southwesterly to southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 1 to 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around 1 metre. And as Henry mentioned earlier, there are a few warnings about, with a strong wind warning current for the south coast that will continue in some parts tomorrow. Showers across parts of the region. Port Lincoln set to reach 29 tomorrow. Cleve set to reach a high of 31. Woodner possible heavy falls and 32. Partly cloudy for Whyalla, also 32. Port Augusta humid and partly cloudy 33. And Kadina mostly sunny and 35. Port Pirie also set to reach 35, Clare sunny and 32, and Broken Hill partly cloudy and will reach a high of 30 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, showers across the region except for in Broken Hill on Friday. Temperatures mainly to sit in the late 20s to early 30s. A quick look at the weekend's weather now. Showers across the region on Saturday. Cooper Pedy 29, Broken Hill, Port Pirie and Adelaide all set to reach a high of 33. Port Lincoln to be 27, while on Sunday showers forecast again. Cooper Pedy 29, Adelaide and Broken Hill both 31, Port Lincoln to reach 27, 25 for Woodner. So John, it's certainly set to be a wet one for the rest of the week, so make sure you have your raincoat handy. See you soon.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will return tomorrow night at the usual time of 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.